We're back on this sunny Thursday. Great weather day. Held up yesterday, too, although we were talking rain into the evening, but it really held off. So great weather today. Hope you're enjoying your afternoon. 218, 6 small businesses from 5 provinces were awarded $10,000 as part of the ADP Canada, something they were doing, the 2015 Small Business Grant Contest. And in Nova Scotia, a Halifax-based business, Halifax Mermaids, was the 5th winner of the grant this year. They focus on healthy child development and nurturing the imagination of children and grown-ups alike through edutainment. And Stephanie Brown, co-owner of Halifax Mermaids, was awarded the $10,000 as part of the ADP Canada 2015 Small Business Grant Contest. She joins us on the line to tell us how this was done and a little bit more about their business. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, great to be here.
I checked out your the website that tells me a little bit more about this, and it looks like a real mermaid swimming in the water. How do you do that?
I'm so glad you think so. That's part of the idea. So we have these amazing costumes that are made by special effects artists in Florida. So it's something like what you would see in a movie. And they're custom made to our body, and they're fit with a fiberglass fin inside called a monofin. And a monofin is what Olympians use to train the dolphin kick, and it's also what freedivers use to get down and up on a single breath of air. So our tails are equipped with this really awesome fin, and because of the motion of the dolphin kick, that's how we get that very realistic swimming look.
So you're in on these performances too?
Oh yeah, I'm constantly doing them. I do them full time, and we have a team of 5 right now, and we're probably going to expand this next year as well. And the demand was already big before the contest, but then after the contest and the media that followed, we've just been going nonstop.
Yeah, and with your business, tell us how you sort of engage the public and what you present.
Yeah, so as you said, we do edutainment, which is a combination of education and entertainment. And I have a background in child and youth development, and I have my Bachelor of Education. So we try to create these play experiences for children that are going to nurture different intelligences with them, because we know now that people don't just learn in 2-dimensional ways. There's actually 7 or 8 different ways people can learn at bare minimum. So we try to touch on as many of those as possible and give them a chance to nurture their imagination, because when kids have a chance to play and a chance to be, pretending, studies are actually now showing that it helps them do better in school, it helps them do better later on in life. So, one end of it is just sort of engaging that. And then the other end is that we're trying to be advocates for the ocean. So we do environmental education with them. So they come to us, they have a fun experience, they have a fun memory, and hopefully they leave feeling a little more responsible for their own environment.
And I'm going to have to say, even without seeing the show, I have to agree with that, because I could read that in a book, or I could retain it by seeing something I've never seen before and perhaps remember it as a result of that.
Yeah, exactly. The idea, a lot of environmental education out there is geared towards adults. It's very shock value, because it's trying to wake adults up and get them to pay attention. But people don't give kids enough credit, actually. They pick up on the subtleties. And, when I'm being Stephanie, the teacher, I can stand in front of a classroom, and maybe I might have a really good lesson plan, and maybe half of my class, it might really stick, that we have to care about our oceans. But when I'm Raina the Mermaid, and we create this whole world and this experience, we have children coming back year after year after year who have just completely changed their families' lives with how they do things, just even things as simple as making sure the lights are turned off, picking up plastic, being more focused on recycling. But the fact is that they remember it 4 years. I'm meeting teenagers now that met us when they were 7, 8, or 9, and they're like completely transformed by their mermaid experience. So it's good. It's working.
Yeah, and it's all part of a bigger group, because there's Canadian Mermaids. Is this like a franchise of this?
Well, Canadian Mermaids is what we operate under when we do things internationally. Because I have the background in child development, I'm sort of recognized as like an expert in the field in terms of the mermaid world. So I get hired to go around the world and do professional development for other mermaids. People don't realize the boom is so huge because it's only just becoming a boom in Canada, but it's been a boom in the States for a long time. And so a lot of people want to work with kids, but maybe have no experience. They don't know how to handle like behavior management or what kind of language to use around them, or even how to make a lesson that's going to resonate with them. So I get to travel and do that, and I also get to travel and perform. And I've published some books on the topic called Fishy Business. And so I get to do a little bit of book touring. So we're Halifax Mermaids locally, but as we move around Canada and parts of the States, we are Canadian Mermaids.
How'd you get involved with the ADP contest here? Because getting $10,000 has got to help towards a lot of things.
Well, it's kind of funny because, I saw them doing the contest originally. We didn't enter until quite late, and I just kind of thought, no, our contest wouldn't win something like that. They probably want, something really formal, and I don't want people to laugh at us, and I'm very sensitive to how we're presented, because we're very passionate, and we take it very seriously, and we try very hard to validate what we do and back it up with education. And I just wasn't sure if I was ready to open myself up to something like that. But the more I watched it, the more I realized that ADP was really encouraging creativity and businesses that were outside of the box. And so, halfway through, I was like, what, I should just give this a chance, because at the very worst, we're going to get some more exposure, and I'll probably learn something along the way. And at the best, we could have $10,000. So when they called me to tell me we'd won, I had a bit of a cry, because I wasn't expecting it at all, and it just definitely changed. It was a game changer for our company in such a huge way.
And do you know right away how you're going to apply that prize, or is it one of those things where you're still sort of caught up in the moment? And you're right, like you said, you never planned on entering, but I guess this is the best case scenario from doing so.
Yeah, well, we've spent a portion of it, and we're saving a portion of it. So a portion of it went to replacing some of our gear, because our gear is so custom and it's medical grade material, and there was no one in Canada who made them, so we had to get them from the States. And with the American dollar, that was something that was very difficult for us to do on our own. So we were able to replace it with sort of new to us tails, gently used tails, and that alone just upped our game so much, because everybody was sort of wearing costumes that were getting a little worn down, and so that was really lovely. We purchased a whole bunch of children's fabric tails and adult tails and children's monofins, so that we can give workshops and makeovers to people who would like to have the experience. And they've been very popular, because there's been a lot of concerns lately about the safety of having kids use these fins. So when we're able to go in and give a workshop and work with the lifeguards and work with the parents and, empower the kids, then you've got kids out having fun, swimming, being active, but doing it in a safe way. So that's been huge. And just sort of general business expense, stuff that you wouldn't think of. The other half of the money that we're saving, we're putting it towards our fund so that we can purchase a traveling tank. We had one lined up, but it sort of fell through, which was unfortunate. Because we really wanted it. But we're not giving up. We have a couple different things that we're exploring, and we're hanging on to that. But anyway, the idea is that this is a big tank, big fish tank, that is specifically made by people who specifically make them for performers. So they've done this before, and we could travel anywhere with wheels and set this tank up and fill it up and perform for a weekend. And it just sort of extends our reach, so that we're not limited by having to be in a pool or, in an ocean or a lake or something. And it gives a real three-dimensional experience to the audience, because they can see us underwater.
Very quickly, you've created a website. What is it?
HalifaxMermaids.com.
Stephanie, thanks so much. Congratulations on the $10,000 prize from ADP, and all the best going forward.
Thank you so much. It was officially an awesome interview. Have a great day.
Oh, and on the puns, that was officially awesome as well. Stephanie Brown, thank you very much. That's Stephanie Brown, from co-owner of Halifax Mermaids, awarded $10,000 as part of the ADP Canada 2015 Small Business Grant Contest.